Welcome back to the channel, folks. Today we're doing an unboxing and assembly of a budget-friendly foldable Softail e-bike from a company called Vivi. This is the M026TG BUL model. We're going to show you what's in the box, how it gets put together, hopefully making your assembly process a little bit easier. Let's get into it. Let's get it unboxed. Let's see what we got inside the box. Looking good. Everything looks like it's nice and secured. Always good to see some extra protection in there. We'll go ahead and pull this bike out of the box and get to unpacking. I'm guessing this is going to be our accessories box. Let's go ahead and pull the bike out. We'll take a look at it and start popping off these straps. I think what I'll do is just kind of lay the bike on its side and then slide the bike out just like this. Press our bike down just like that. Go ahead and put this box aside for now. Okay, now that we got everything out of the box, we'll start popping off some of these zip ties. Oh, that's a big one. I don't know what this is. It's another box of accessories or something here. Actually, it looks like that's gonna be our battery. We'll go ahead and put this aside as well. You want to make sure when you're cutting this zip tie, you're not cutting into your brake line. So be very careful of that and make sure you're just cutting the zip tie and nothing behind it. Just like that. Looks like our handlebars here. Nice. Okay, looks like we have an adjustable stem. That's going to be nice. Okay, Vivi. I like that blue and gray design blending in there. That looks pretty sharp. Okay, it looks like this is where our controller is. Yep, cut this stuff off as well. Looks like we're gonna really have to wiggle to get this off, but that's a good thing. You don't want it coming off and shipping. And it's really gonna protect this side of the bike where the derailleur is. And don't forget, we have an electric vehicle here. Okay, let's pop the rest of these off. Looks like we're gonna get to start this assembly right now. Get rid of some of this trash and we'll get everything going. Okay, once you have everything unpacked, this is what you're gonna have in front of you. You're gonna have your two fenders, a box that has your accessories, a box that has your battery, and your seat with seat post along with your tire. Let's go ahead and roll up our sleeves and start this assembly. Our seat with seat post here. It's pretty sharp looking. Looks like your seat post is going to be 28.6 millimeters and sharp looking seat. Open up this battery, take a look and see what this looks like inside the box as well. That's going to be a little bit different than we're accustomed to seeing because this goes on a pouch on the front of the bike. But look at that. It's a different shape. Oh, there's a handle here. There's our battery. That's going to be where you charge it. And up to the top here, it looks like we have a battery strength indicator. And the battery is, looks like maybe 75% full. Okay, we'll go ahead and put that aside. And we'll go ahead and see what's inside of our accessories box. Everything that came in the accessories box was the owner's manual. And it looks like some detailed information. And this little cap came with it as well. This was in the same pouch as the owner's manual, so we'll keep those together. Our pedals left and right. Some brackets to hold our front and rear fenders on. Front fork skewer for our quick release front tire. Integrated headlight with reflector. Our bell. And inside of our accessories kit, we got some Allen wrenches, wrench, screwdriver, some pretty standard tools here. And then we have our charger with cord, and it looks like that's going to be a 2-amp charger. So that's everything that came in the small accessories kit, and here's everything that came in the box. So it's probably a good starting point to go ahead and get your battery charged up first. Seeing as how we're doing the assembly, this could be on the charger so you can get on the road a little bit quicker. There's your controller down there, nice encased in this plastic cover. Okay, the first thing we're gonna do is assemble the handlebars. So that's pretty nice. The handlebars are already attached to the stem, so we don't have to do that. On a lot of bikes, you actually have to assemble that portion. Let's take a look at the fork first. We want to make sure it's going the right direction. You want to make sure that your front brake caliper is on the left-hand side of the fork here. Then you know that the fork is going straight. Sometimes in shipping, it comes to you different directions. It's turned, it's twisted. As long as you make sure that that brake caliper is on the left side before you put the handlebars in, you'll be just fine. So the first thing we're going to do is insert our handlebar stem down into the bike frame here. And you can see that we're not going to be able to get it down there because this stem is going to be too long just the way it is. We have to loosen the screws and bend the stem so that we can fit it in here. You can obviously see we're not going to make it. So let's go ahead and loosen these two screws on the side and this screw here at the bottom so that we can bend the stem and fit the handlebars in. So the first thing we did was we loosened this bottom screw here, and then the two screws on the side here, we went ahead and loosened those as well. You're going to have to use 2 Allen wrenches probably to hold one side to get them loosened up, and then once they're loosened up, you can bend that stem just like that. Now the stem should fit down into the bike frame now that we loosened that up and we bent the stem. If you can't fit the stem in the bike frame because this piece is too far up, you're going to want to go ahead and loosen up this screw right here. Then that'll drop it down just like that, and it'll slide right in for you. We'll go ahead and drop the neck right down, place that cover on top, and we're going to tighten this screw down so that it stays in place. Once we tighten this down, that's going to keep the stem from sliding down into the frame of the bike. You want to be able to adjust things later on once you're sitting on the bike and you get a little bit of a different perspective. So don't over tighten things too much, but you also don't want to leave anything loose or forget about it. Okay, now that we have the stem adjusted where we want, we're going to go ahead and tighten it down. It is nice that you have an adjustable stem on this bike. We'll go ahead and make it nice and snug. We want to make sure we're also tightening down the screws on the side of the neck as well. So you're going to go ahead and hold it with 1 Allen wrench and tighten it down with the other. Perfect. So basically we put the cover on the stem. We screwed the top screw in here. That holds the stem into the bike frame. And then we went ahead and tightened up all 3 bolts after we got the handlebars adjusted to the height that we wanted. So on this bike, the handlebars were already mounted to the stem, which is actually pretty nice. We're just going to go ahead and loosen them up a little bit and adjust them to where I think they'll be more comfortable when we're riding. We want to make sure that they're centered on our bike here and that they're in a comfortable position. So I like it when we're riding that the palm of my hand rests on these grips. It just makes for a way more comfortable ride. So this is about right where I'm going to leave them, and we're going to hold it there and tighten them down. Anytime you're tightening down this plate to the handlebars, you want to make sure you're going from like top right to bottom left, top left to bottom right. You don't want to tighten anything down unevenly. Let's go ahead and attach the bike saddle. So this is a nice sharp looking saddle. It's pretty narrow, firm, and really sharp looking. So it's nice that the rear reflector's already attached, and they have the saddle attached to the seat post as well. That's also nice. We're going to just go ahead and slide it right in. Super simple. And we're going to go ahead and push this lever shut. And you want to make sure that's nice and tight so that your seat doesn't slide up and down. So if you don't have enough tension on the seat post, or your seat post is going up and down, you're just going to go ahead and release it here. And then tighten this screw down by hand, and then retighten down your lever. Super simple. So this is a 21-speed bike, 3 chain rings here, and a 7-speed cassette to the back. That's 21. You'll also have a Shimano tourney derailleur with derailleur guard. So you have some tags on the bike with some warnings. It's nice that they keep you educated on what to look for. And if you have any trouble or your derailleur guard's bent in, it's just showing you to be aware of that. So we'll go ahead and flip the bike over so we can get that front tire on. And make sure we tuck our display in so it doesn't get banged up. We'll remove some of this protective packing that just kept it safe during travel, and the same thing here. So it looks like they really did a nice job of keeping you informed throughout the assembly, how to remove the packing material and install the front tire. You want to make sure you just remove this here. It's just for packing only to keep the fork straight while it was in transit, and that's trash. Okay, up here in the front brake caliper, there's a little spacer. We're going to go ahead and pull that right out. Throw that away, no need for it at this point. So we're going to put the front tire on, and we want this brake rotor to drop right between the brake pads right here. So we're dropping our rotor right between the brake pads there and letting our axle rest right on the fork. Perfect. So we're going to insert the quick release through the axle just like this. We're going to have our quick release lever on the opposite side of the rotor, so we'll have it on that side over there. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the end cap off here, and we'll feed this quick release right through the axle. Let's go ahead and do that now. On this side here, we're going to go ahead and slide the quick release right through the axle. Now we want to make sure that this lock washer lines up right with that hole perfectly so that it drops into this hole and it's secured to the fork just like that. And we're going to match that on this side, so we're going to take our lock washer here, line it right up just like that, make sure that it's going right into the hole there so it's secured one direction. Our spring is going to go on just like this, and then we'll take our end cap here and slide it on just like that. So I'm holding the other side and screwing this side in. Once we get it down tight enough to where we want it, we'll pull this lever here. It's still pretty loose, so we'll keep going. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and pull down on this lever, and you can see that's really tight, and I'm forcing it down with a lot of strength there, and you can see that it put an impression on my hand. That's just kind of indicating that you got it down pretty tight. You don't want to leave that loose. While the bike is upside down, let's go ahead and attach our pedals. I'm always going to say it, there's a left and a right side pedal. Make sure you're always putting the left pedal on the left side and the right pedal on the right side. They're labeled here and at the bottom of the pedals as well. You really can't make a mistake here unless you're just not paying attention. So we're going to go ahead and take our left pedal and attach it to the left side. Whenever you tighten a pedal on by hand, I feel like if it was going to be cross-threaded, you would pretty much know it. It's not going to tighten down really easy by hand, so tighten it the rest of the way with our supplied wrench. Let's make it nice and snug. And then this is the right side pedal. And I'll make it nice and snug. Perfect. Okay, pedals assembled. Let's flip the bike over and get the fenders on. It's a sharp looking bike. So you're going to have a 48 volt 500 watt hub motor with 65 newton meters of torque. Mechanical disc brakes with 160 millimeter rotors. You have a cadence sensor on this bike, which means you won't have to work too hard once you start pedaling. You're going to have some Chow Yang 26 by 1.95 inch wide tires with this medium city street thread. So this rear shock absorber can handle up to 850 pounds. And to the front of the bike, it's not adjustable and you can't lock it out, but you do get 60 millimeters of travel on this coil spring suspension. You're going to have a single-sided chain guard. So the pedals are plastic and they have reflectors. Okay, let's go ahead and assemble our fender. We're going to have a little pre-assembly here, so we're going to want to go ahead and attach this bracket to our fender with the screws that are in the little bag here with our fender parts. So let's go ahead and screw that in just like this by hand at first and get it started. Drop the screw through the fender, line it up to the bracket down here, grab our second screw, line that up, and we'll go ahead and get started on the rear fender. The front fender took the regular screws. The rear fender is going to take these two pointed screws. You can see right there, because they're going to screw right into this plastic piece here. So for this assembly, we'll be using the pointed screws. Get them lined up right here, and we'll get it started. So we're using the pointed screws for this assembly. Once you get it started, it'll find its way right into that hole pretty easily. And all you need to do is just tighten them down. You don't want to over tighten any of these things because you don't want to strip them out. And there's our rear fender. Let's go ahead and attach them to the bike. Okay, so here's our front light with reflector, and it looks like they planned that out well because it's nice and long, so it doesn't interfere with the battery bag. So let's back this screw out, get our fender and our light on. The way this is going to work is we're going to take our fender and we're going to come up through the back here just like this. Fender's going to go there, and then we're going to take our light, which is going to attach to the front just like this. Take our light and we'll screw these together just like this. So that's what it's going to look like when we get it all tightened down. Make it nice and snug. Okay, the fender and light are attached. Let's go ahead and get the rear fender on. Our rear fender is going to go on just like this. Let's go ahead and remove that seat post and slide it right through. Go ahead and open this up a little bit so we can slide it right into our seat post. So it looks like they gave us some spacers. I don't think we're going to need them all. We might need one. Let's check it out. See how that works. Yeah, it's nice and tight. We only need one of the spacers. Go ahead and line this back up. Put our seat back in position. On the other side we have this nut and our screw end here. The nut's only going to line up one way. Seat's right in there, and we'll go ahead and tighten it down. So once that is nice and secure, your nuts through here, everything's tightened down nice, we can go ahead and adjust the fender where we want it and then tighten it down here as well. Just like that. And there you go, the rear fender is assembled. Simple as that. So one of the things that really stand out on this bike is that the battery goes in the front pouch here instead of being mounted on the bike in one of these other areas. It's a square battery and it's going to drop right into this pouch. We'll go ahead and do that next. I'm going to open this up just like this. So it looks like we have a key we're going to have to insert. That's going to pull this pin back so we can go ahead and slide our battery into place. We're going to take our battery, line it up, slide it right into place, turn our key, pull it out. Battery is nice and secured. And right here is where you can charge it. Right there. Let's go ahead and zip it closed. The light clears it when you're turning, so that's good. Last but not least, we need to assemble our bell. I like my bell being over here on the right side. Everyone might have a different preference, but looks like it'll fit here, and that's where I'm going to put it. Okay, perfect. Let's not forget about plugging this wire in. We're going to line up the red to the red and plug it right in. Line it up. Snap it into place just like that. To power up your control display, simply long press the power button. You'll see things like your speed, your battery strength, what pedal assist level you're in, 1 through 5, and to toggle through them, you'll just hit the plus or minus button. Down at the bottom, if you quickly press the power button, you'll toggle through your odometer, your tripometer, your voltage, and back to your odometer. If you long press the up button, you'll turn on the headlight, and if you long press the minus button, you'll put the bike into a walking mode. If you want to get into the advanced settings, you hold the plus and minus button at the same time. I don't suggest you go in there unless you really know what you're changing. Write down any settings that are in here and make sure that you can get back to them if you make any mistakes. On the right side of the handlebars, you have your twist throttle, 7-speed Shimano thumb shifter, and a bell. Okay, and that's going to wrap this one up for the unboxing and assembly. Make sure you check over every nut, bolt, and screw. Even if it wasn't part of the assembly today, you want to make sure that you're riding safe. And if you have a family member or friend who's looking to purchase one of these bikes, there'll be links in the description for you to do so. It always helps the channel when you use them. So like always, thanks for watching. Ride safe. Have fun. See ya.